I want to cut across to our reporters, our editors who are joining us from Bihar, and they know a thing or two more about Nitin Nabin than I, and especially even Rajdeep, who spent so many elections and who's watched and studied politics for so long. I have Shashi Bhushan, Sujit Jha, Rohit Singh, who worked very closely with Nitin Nabin. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal, who's been tracking the BJP, was equally surprised yesterday when the name of Nitin Nabin was announced. Himanshu Mishra also joining us from the BJP, who thought in the beginning that maybe this was, the name announced for the Bihar party president and not the national president. We have Neerja Chowdhury as well, and Manisha Priyam, and we have Sujit Jha. I want to cut across to Sujit Jha first. Sujit, अगर आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है, बिहार के नेता है नितिन नबीन, 5 बार एमएलए हैं, पर किसी को कोई अंदाजा था क्या, उन्हें अंदाजा था कि भाजपा के पार्टी प्रेसिडेंट, वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट बनाए जा रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल भी नहीं, किसी को भी नहीं, यहाँ तक कि नितिन नबीन को भी ये अंदाजा नहीं था। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि कुछ दिन पहले उनको इनके इस बारे में संकेत कुछ जरूर मिले थे, और इधर जब बातचीत काफी कम हो गई थी और वो दिखना भी काफी कम हो कर दिया था उन्होंने, तो मुझे लगता है कहीं उनको आभास था, कोई संकेत जरूर मिला था उनको, लेकिन उन्होंने किसी से शेयर नहीं किया, किसी को बताया भी नहीं। अचानक से ऐसा नहीं होता है, कुछ ना कुछ मतलब हिंट पहले से पार्टी नेतृत्व की तरफ से मिलता है। लेकिन वो ऐसे ही कल कई कार्यक्रमों में उन्होंने हिस्सा लिया पटना में, लेकिन कहीं से भी उन्होंने नहीं लगने दिया कि वो अगले ही पल बीजेपी के राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष बनने वाले हैं। और सबसे बड़ी बात कि जो नेता हैं उनको तो मतलब भनक तक नहीं लगी, पत्रकारों को भी नहीं लगी, ना दिल्ली के पत्रकारों को लगी, ना पटना के पत्रकारों को लगी। पटना के पत्रकार तो सोच ही नहीं रहे थे कि पटना से भी, बिहार से भी कोई बीजेपी में राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष बन सकता है, इसके बारे में कभी सोचा ही नहीं। दिल्ली में लगातार कयास लगाए जा रहे थे, तरह तरह के नामों की चर्चा थी, लेकिन अचानक से नितिन नबीन का नाम सामने आ गया। निश्चित तौर पर ये चौंकाने वाला है, और ये चौंकाने वाले जो बार बार आप देखेंगे कि बीजेपी की तरफ से, बीजेपी के नेतृत्व की तरफ से इस तरह के फैसले चौंकाने वाले होते रहे हैं। कल हमें भी जानकारी जब मिली तो हम लोग भी चौंक गए। तो निश्चित तौर पर ये जो बीजेपी ने एक दांव खेला युवा के नाम पे, 45 वर्ष के हैं नितिन नबीन, तो एक लगता है कि जनरेशन चेंज करने की बात,
जनरेशनल शिफ्ट है, जनरेशनल चेंज है, एंड असली में सही में युवा फेस है, क्योंकि आजकल तो 55-60 साल के भी युवा कहलाए जाते हैं। बट सुजीत जी, एक सवाल और लूंगी, जब फोन किया था आपने बधाई देने के लिए, क्या कहा था नितिन नबीन ने?
देखिए, अभी तो उनको पूरे देश से बधाई मिल रही है, और बड़ी संक्षिप्त में मतलब उन्होंने स्वीकार किया। लेकिन जब भी नितिन नबीन से आप मिले, कोई भी मिलता है, हम मिले या कोई और मिले, बड़े हम्बल तरीके से मिलते हैं और बड़े ही मृदुभाषी और मतलब सबसे मिलजुल कर रहने वाले, विवादित व्यक्तित्व उनका कभी रहा नहीं है। उनके किसी भी बयान को लेकर कोई इस तरह की मतलब
कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं हुई है। सही कह रहे हैं। सुजीत जी, बने रहिए आप हमारे साथ। I want to go back to Rajdeep, but before I do that, I want to quickly pull in my colleague Aishwarya Paliwal, who was here yesterday. We were all in office actually, and when the news broke, Aishwarya, tell me honestly, with hand on your heart, did you also not for a minute think who is Nitin Nabin and what's the inside dope? Because what we do know is JP Nadda is going to continue as president, Nitin Nabin takes over as working president, and word has it, now we don't know how true that word is because really we don't know what goes on in the BJP, that come January, February, Nitin Nabin will take the place of JP Nadda.
Well, you know, Preeti, this is something which we are understanding at this point of time. You know, just take a look at the way in which people have actually come. All of them have flower petals in their hands, and these posters, you know, Prem will show you the poster also. These kind of posters where you have Nitin Nabin along with JP Nadda and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, these posters have been put up across the national capital. So this is something which is giving you a little bit of a hint of what is to come 2026. And also, let me tell you, yes, I was surprised because, you know, this is not a name that we were hearing. But But then this is an art that BJP has mastered over the past many years. The names that often do the rounds, except Rekha Gupta, because she is someone whose name actually had started doing rounds 48 hours before the official announcement. But that was the only time when, you know, there was a name that was doing rounds, and she in fact became the chief minister of the national capital. But apart from that, we have seen how the BJP has mastered the art of keeping the cards very close to their hearts. But let me also tell you, you know, we are hearing that he was immediately called and said that, you know, he needs to take over. That, Preeti, is not true from what I am understanding. At the BJP headquarters just a couple of days back, there were some people who had met Nitin Nabin, and there was a crucial meeting that took place. And from what I understand, Preeti, you know, in just a couple of minutes from now, we will see the cavalcade coming in. It will be the Delhi Chief Minister, Rekha Gupta, who will, along with the Delhi MPs, be coming in. And then we will see the official process taking place at the BJP headquarters. Preeti.
All right, you know, we're going to come back to my colleague Aishwarya, who's at the BJP headquarters. But Aishwarya, you know, keep that window open. Show us the top leadership of the BJP, the biggest spokespersons, all lining up. And Rajdeep, you know, I want to bring you in and cut across to Neerja and Manisha Priyamji after that. You know, this is what the BJP is. In a way, it's superb. Who would have known? And this is what they say, that a Karyakarta can actually rise to the post of the BJP party president. Suddenly at the back, you have these hoardings where, along with the Prime Minister Modi, with Amit Shah, the Home Minister, with JP Nadda ji, you actually have an equally bigger picture of a Nitin Nabin. Now, this is serendipity where politics is concerned.
No, look, it only shows that the BJP is the party with the real high command. You see, for decades, the Congress was seen to have the high command. If you look at the kind of people Indira Gandhi would appoint, I'm in Maharashtra today, there's a famous instance of how Babasaheb Bhosle was overnight appointed the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Most of the journalists struggled to put a profile together of Babasaheb Bhosle because they didn't know enough to actually put a profile in the next morning's newspaper. When you have a high command, then you can do what you want. Let's keep that in mind. It's not as if this is because a Nitin Nabin can be made today without any opposition. A Gujarat cabinet can be changed overnight without any opposition. A Mohan Yadav can be put above many other senior leaders in Madhya Pradesh without opposition. A Bhajan Lal Sharma can be made chief minister in Rajasthan without any opposition, putting Vasundhara Raje aside. A Pushkar Dhami can be plucked out of relative anonymity and made the chief minister. So can a Nayab Saini. Why? Because you have a high command. Please understand that. These decisions are taken because the BJP also today has a high command. They could do it 25 years ago when they were principally a party of the opposition. The Congress is just the opposite today. The Congress today cannot appoint someone.
There is no high command, and a strong high command that can actually affect change and also accommodate the ones that they have slighted. You know, that is the virtue of having a strong high command. But juxtapose it, Rajdeep, because today you will have quite a few who will say the Congress did have the same opportunity. The fact that the Congress is suffering today at multiple levels is because it was an opportunity missed.
Well, it was, you're absolutely right at one level, but you've also got to recognize that the Congress is bigger. Look at what happened with the Congress when they wanted to make Ashok Gehlot. Ashok Gehlot was to be made the president of the Congress. He said no. Could that have ever happened in the times of Indira Gandhi? That a party leader, a regional chieftain could have come to the so-called high command and said, sorry, I'm not going to become the party president. That's the big change that has taken place in Indian politics is all I'm saying. That the center of gravity of Indian politics has shifted to the BJP, and the BJP also now has a high command culture when no one can challenge the authority of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. Anyone whom they had chosen would have been accepted right down the line. You had asked me earlier, who controls the show, RSS or BJP? I still believe when it comes to party issues, it is Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah who run the show. There can be a veto right at best that RSS could have in a few instances, but the main control, the levers of power are with the Gujarat Jodi #1. That's not the case with the Congress, which is why the Congress is so heavily dependent also on this family-centric politics, and thereby, you could argue, has not been able to nurture or promote that kind of younger leadership without opposition. Why could they not make a Sachin Pilot, for example, a face in Rajasthan, or earlier Jyotiraditya in Madhya Pradesh? Because they could not handle the older guard.
True, and Rajdeep, many would also say that these changes could have been effected or brought in, at a time where the Congress was strong in the UPA for 1 year, UPA 2 years, where you actually blooded in a next line of generation, which you didn't. All you did was you created a coterie from the ones that were already there, and they got the plum post. This is just an argument. I want to bring in Neerja Chowdhury back into this conversation.
No, just very quickly, ma'am,
make
just
your
very
point.
quickly, before you go, just to say, remember in UPA 2, Milind Deora, Sachin Pilot, Jitin Prasad, RPN Singh, all of which were made union ministers, many of them in their 30s and early 40s.
Okay.
Because that time you had posts available, ministerial portfolios. Today, what will the Congress give anyone who's young? Either you then dramatically tell the old guard enough is enough, and we are completely moving to a new guard.
But no, fair point. But you also continued to give in under the pressures of a Kamal Nath. You continued to give in under the pressures of your other senior leaders. You did that.
Sure.
In hindsight, everything,
Absolutely.
in hindsight, it seems that, the Congress could have effected, all these changes when they were in power, but that's the beauty of hindsight. I want to cut across to Neerja Chowdhury and Manisha Prem, and we'll go back to our reporters and Rajdeep Sardesai, but to bring you in, Neerja, how do you see the change which has been effected, seen as a big generational shift for the BJP? What's your opinion?
Preeti, let me just tell you something that happened last week. With a colleague, journalistic colleague, I was seeing a senior minister of the government, BJP, and we were joking that the indication was that the announcement would come very soon. And we were joking, would we have to surf the Google to know more about the person? And he smiled widely and indicated that might be the case. Now, that is the way it's turned out. It is part of a new model that the BJP is putting in place. As they say, the senior leaders, that the party now is virtually on autopilot. It doesn't matter who will lead it, because it's so strong that it will continue to function effectively. And I think the leadership change that we've seen in the states, chief ministers who were brought in 2023, and Nitin Nabin is part of that line. Pick up unknown people. In his case, he has huge experience, 5-time MLA, experience of administration, party work, and so on. So he's not a raw hand in that sense. Obviously, the control of the party and much of the government system today, of course, there is Prime Minister Modi at the helm of affairs as far as being Prime Minister, but the control essentially lies with Amit Shah. And I think this is his team that we are now seeing put in place. Of course, the RSS has had a hand in it. The RSS has obviously given the go-ahead.
Greenlit, yeah.
And just one word, on the youth part. He is a young person. A young person need not necessarily have an appeal for the young. People have asked about Mr. Kharge at 84. Why does he continue? Why doesn't he give it to somebody younger? But the Congress party today is helmed by Rahul Gandhi, much younger than Narendra Modi. And yet Mr. Modi has an appeal to the young. So that argument goes up to a point as far as bringing energy and maybe ideas to...
But longevity for sure. Longevity for sure.
Longevity for sure, absolutely. They plan to be. They're openly talking about power for the next 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
And I think the power of the high command, why the BJP Jodi, as Rajiv has said, the first political Jodi of India today, Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah, they have traction because they are winning elections. The Congress High Command does not have traction because they're not winning elections. It's all to do about elections, nothing more.
Okay. I want to cut across to Manisha Prem, and then we'll go back to Rohit Singh, who's also been with us. Rohit, just 2 minutes more of patience. I want to bring in Manisha Premji. Manisha Premji, I think unlike Neerja Chowdhury, you would have had a fairer idea on who Nitin Nabin was. He's the son of late Nabin Kishore Sinha, comes in from Bihar. How do you view this appointment? what is the importance of picking Nitin Nabin? Or do you think an organizational man, there's not much thought, but thought in terms of getting in a younger man, generational shift, somebody which both the RSS and the BJP were amiable to?
So I would say this is clearly now the party affairs which are being guided by the kind of victory that Mr. Amit Shah and his team have been able to get for Narendra Modi-led BJP. That's how I would put it. I would say nothing about the RSS, but let me just tell you and remind you that the big Kayas leader and the family of the RSS is actually the late Sri Thakur Prasad, whose son is Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. So Nitin Naveen really represents sunset for many old models of politics. First and foremost, Nitin Naveen's nomination represents a victory of the gully boys that Amit Shah had been nurturing as a new cadre for the party, putting Sushil Modi by the side. These gully boys were revving up for, having a non-Nitish Kumar-led government in 2020, but they also supported the political efforts of the party in Bihar and elsewhere. So one of those things Rajdeep pointed out, but remember also even in Karnataka elections, for example, the Gully Boys and Nitin Naveen, all of them have had very important roles. It was one of those who I cannot name right now, who had hinted to me even during the elections that aap dekhiega Nitin Naveen, and I knew the hints were there. But the fact is that nobody could have imagined it would be the party president's post. It also represents the fact that, remember, Bihar has been nurtured by none other than Dharmendra Pradhan for a very long time. And I believe very much that we have a party president who's a young president, obviously doesn't have the acumen or experience to run an entire national party of the BJP, but he would have the fire of working on instructions. And I feel there is a strong organizational political team behind him. And Nitin Naveen is very used to working with the team. So as Nitin Naveen takes over, it's victory to the Patna Gully boys who kept up the politics anti-Lalu, who kept up the politics, had some discomfort with the late Sushil Modi ji also, but also kept up the anti-Nitish. Now in one stroke, Bihar is a huge victory. I think the other important part is that for long, Amit Shah has tried politics in the North India region by locating himself within Uttar Pradesh for the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. With Shri Sunil Bansal, it was said that's the big state he got. But for a long time there, the politics of Thakurwad, there's been a stalemate. Keshav Dev Maurya and the Kushwaha card has not given them as many benefits. Now, Bihar represents something far more significant away from the politics of the clashing upper castes, the Bhumihars and the Rajputs, who are known as Thakurs elsewhere. The Amit Shah-led BJP, Dharmendra Pradhan advised party cadres have now moved to the Kayas caste, which is not numerically large, but follows instructions, does organizational work. And this caste is actually very deeply entrenched now in supporting the BJP. So I believe very much that a professional upper middle class going there. Remember also that Nitin Naveen represents not just a young generation, of course, a young generation. Of course, his being young matters because I know there are many MLAs who won the elections this time who in 2014 were just doing parchees, etc. We saw them as workers who would do the day's affairs for the bigger leaders. It's now time for the workers to come over. Nitin Naveen is very, very close to a lot of them. So a lot of new energy in Bihar, North Indian politics, Amit Shah style, and of course, a strong organizational team led by Amit Shah now that will control the party affairs of the BJP.
Well, an interesting terminology that you've come up with, and I think it would be used, gully boys of Amit Shah, and Nitin Naveen being one of those. It's a fun term. I want to cut across to Rohit, who's tracked the Bihar elections very, very closely. Rohit, what is the math behind this?
Well, yes, that remains the big question as to why Nitin Naveen has been chosen. A Kayast face from Bihar, and the Kayast voters in Bihar, just about 0.6%. The population, in fact, is just 0.6%. So clearly goes on to show that caste cannot be a factor here to choose Nitin Naveen to lead the party as the working president. So what goes in favor of Nitin Naveen is basically his organizational skills that he has honed up in the last, in fact, 20 years. He has been MLA for the last 20 years. He has served as a minister also in the Nitish Kumar government in various capacities, has also been the General Secretary of the Yuva Morcha for about 6 years. And he has also led the Yuva Morcha in Bihar. He was the state president of the Yuva Morcha in Bihar also. So he has a great deal of experience as far as running the organization is concerned, and he has already displayed his credentials as far as the Chhattisgarh elections are concerned, where he was in charge of the Chhattisgarh elections, and how emphatically BJP won there. So everything goes in favor of Nitin Naveen, and what is very more important, particularly more important, is the fact that he is a non-controversial face as far as Bihar is concerned. He has been moving around the country as far as when he was with the Yuva Morcha, but he has been a controversial face and never fell in any controversy. You never saw him giving any kind of heated, any kind of bites or sound bites heated in nature. And more importantly is the fact that he is very calm, polite, and whenever he talks to people, he only calls them bhaiya, ji bhaiya, ha bhaiya. So that's the kind of nature that Nitin Naveen has, and now I think that this has gone in favor of him. Basically his organizational skills, that the BJP top brass has chosen him to run the party in the near future.
Right.
And the starting has been made by making him the working president of the party. Back to you.
In all probability, what is being, speculated, again, it's all in the realms of speculation, that he will take over completely from JP Nadda come January or February. JP Nadda continues to be party president, but there's a new working party president there. So clearly that generational shift, the passing of baton, will happen early next year. I want to cut across to Himanshu Mishra, who's been covering the BJP for many seasons. Himanshu, गणित इसके पीछे क्या है वो तो आप समझा दीजिए, पर अब इतने सारे नाम चल रहे थे हिमांशु, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान, ML खट्टर, शिवराज सिंह चौहान, भूपेंद्र यादव, उनके लिए थोड़ा बुरा तो लग ही रहा होगा, आपने काफी फॉलो किया है उन सबको, पर क्या सुनने में आ रहा है, क्यों नितिन नबीन? आप म्यूट पर हैं हिमांशु।
प्रीति, देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि इसमें किसी को बुरा नहीं लगेगा, क्योंकि आज पार्टी का जो संगठन है वो जो फैसले लेता है वो चौंकाने वाले लेता है, और यही कारण है। अगर आप देखेंगे, मैंने कल भी ये कहा था कि आप देखिए, भजन लाल शर्मा हो, मोहन यादव हो, या फिर विजय मांझी हो, या विष्णुदेव सहाय हो, देवेंद्र फडणवीस हो, जब
हिमांशु, तुमको आपको मैं 1 मिनट के लिए रोकती हूँ हिमांशु, और इसीलिए रोक रही हूँ आपको क्योंकि जो हेडक्वार्टर है भाजपा का, वहां से विजुअल्स आने शुरू हुए हैं, क्योंकि दीज आर विजुअल्स दैट आर कमिंग इन. यू कैन सी how things change overnight, and this is destiny, whatever you might want to call it, kismat. Overnight, Nitin Nabeen possibly on some other afternoon at the BJP headquarters would have been somebody who would have been lining up and showering flower petals on the BJP's top leadership, while he's bang in the middle, everyone trying to get a piece of him. And just look at those visuals there. Nitin Nabeen making his way, where many top leaders, you can actually see spokespersons, other leaders showering flower petals on him. Also, somewhere down the line, testimony to the belief of the BJP that even a Karyakarta can be picked up and made and elevated to the position of party president or prime minister. But spectacular visuals coming in from the BJP headquarters. Over to you, Himanshu. क्योंकि वही देख रहे थे, किस्मत मान लीजिए, डेस्टिनी मान लीजिए, कल तक नितिन नबीन कहीं नहीं थे, आज उन पोस्टर पे उतनी बड़ी फोटो है जितनी जेपी नड्डा जी और अमित शाह की।
देखिए, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। जो भी पार्टी का इस तरीके से क्रमवार देखें तो अध्यक्ष बनने जाएगा तो उसको उतना ही स्थान मिलेगा जो पार्टी के अध्यक्ष हैं जेपी नड्डा वर्तमान में, और क्योंकि नितिन नवीन अभी कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष बने, यानी वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट हैं। अब स्मूथ प्रोसेस होना है, क्योंकि जो केंद्रीय संगठन प्रभारी हैं, चुनाव प्रभारी हैं के लक्ष्मण, खरमास क्योंकि चालू हो जाएगा कल से, 14 जनवरी मकर संक्रांति के बाद जो है वो एक चुनाव की डेट को डिक्लेयर करेंगे, वहां नामांकन होगा। और मैंने आज तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी के इतिहास में कभी अध्यक्ष पद के लिए चुनाव होता नहीं देखा।
अध्यक्ष पद
ना
के लिए
देखा है ना
चुनाव-
सुना है,
जी।
ना देखा है ना सुना है।
सही
दूसरी
कह रहे हैं
चीज,
ना। जी जी, बोलिए
उसका एक बड़ा कारण है, नितिन नवीन 45 साल के हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जो जर्नी है, जनसंख्या अगर आप उसको छोड़ दे समय काल को, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जर्नी और नितिन नवीन की जर्नी एक साथ शुरू हुई थी। बीजेपी का गठन जो है 6 अप्रैल 1980 में हुआ और नितिन नवीन भी 1980 में जो है उनका जन्म हुआ। 45 साल की दोनों की जर्नी है। ये एक मैं कल से कह रहा हूं, चौथी पीढ़ी है भारतीय जनता पार्टी की, जिसको बैटल दे दिया गया, जिसको कमान सौंपी जा रही है। और ये एक तरीके से बड़ा रोल जो है वो आपको दिखेगा, क्योंकि 45 साल के हैं, उनसे कई सीनियर लोग जो हैं वो कतार में थे अध्यक्ष, जिनका जिक्र आप अभी कर रहे थे। लेकिन पार्टी, संगठन, संघ ये मिलकर जब फैसले लेते हैं तो इसी तरीके के चौंकाने वाले फैसले होते हैं। 2009 में नितिन गडकरी को जब अध्यक्ष बनाया गया था, तब किसी ने नहीं सोचा था नितिन गडकरी महाराष्ट्र के अध्यक्ष हैं, वो केंद्र की राजनीति में आएंगे, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अध्यक्ष बनेंगे। अध्यक्ष बने, 3 साल का कार्यकाल उनका रहा। गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जब अध्यक्ष बने तो वो यूपी के प्रभारी और जनरल सेक्रेटरी थे। 2014 में जिस तरीके की विक्ट्री मिली थी, 31 सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने वहां जीती थी, उस जीत की नींव 14 की जो है, उसके मैन ऑफ द मैच जो है वो अमित शाह थे। तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर आप देखें तो उस जीत के अंदर अमित शाह ने जिस तरीके का ताना बाना उत्तर प्रदेश में बुना था, छोटी छोटी जातियों को जोड़कर सोशल इंजीनियरिंग की, उसका बेनिफिट उनको मिला। यही कारण है नितिन नवीन का। नितिन नवीन को जो है नॉर्थ ईस्ट में सिक्किम का प्रभारी बनाएगा। पहली बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने सिक्किम के अंदर जो है एनडीए की सरकार बनाई। नितिन नवीन ने शहीद यात्रा निकाली थी पूरी नॉर्थ ईस्ट में। उसके बाद उनको छत्तीसगढ़ का सह चुनाव प्रभारी बनाया गया ओम प्रकाश माथुर के साथ। वहां से उनको फुल फ्लेजी संगठन प्रभारी जो है छत्तीसगढ़ का बनाया गया। ये बताता है कि अपने कार्यकर्ता को छोटी से छोटी जिम्मेदारियां देते देते आप एकदम से बड़ा बना देते हैं। जब भी कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता को, नेता को जब जिम्मेदारी मिलती है तो आप देखिए वो यही कहता है कि छोटे से कार्यकर्ता को बड़े से बड़ा पद यहां मिल सकता है। मोहन यादव बने, उन्होंने भी कहा, भजन लाल शर्मा बने, वो बने। योगी आदित्यनाथ जब बने थे उनको भी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि वो मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे।
बिल्कुल, यू आर राइट।
पुष्कर सिंह धामी चुनाव हार गए और उनको मुख्यमंत्री बनाया। केशव प्रसाद मौर्य चुनाव हारे, उनको मुख्यमंत्री बनाया। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक्सपेरिमेंट भी करती है।
एक्सपेक्ट द अनएक्सपेक्टेड। You're right that मैं वापस आपके पास आऊंगी। I'm running out of time. I want to take quick comments. I want to bring in Neerja Chaudhary into this conversation. Neerja Chaudhary, this is classic BJP, and I would reckon this is political destiny. The visuals that are coming in. Of course, we're going to play this show later. We've recorded this show in the afternoon. We're going to play it later on. But you have the top leadership of the BJP, Piyush Goyal, Anil Baluni, the other big leaders, all coming in, bowing down to Nitin Nabin. So also messaging is so important in this, Neerja Chaudhary. The sheer fact that it doesn't matter who you are, it's the position and the party that is, prime.
Yes, this is absolutely right. You have a powerful high command out there in the Jodi, Amit Shah and the Prime Minister Modi. And you have at the same time what I would call कार्यकर्ताइजेशन of the BJP. तो कार्यकर्ता को मैसेज जा रहा है, you are very important for us. So this is one thing. The other thing we must not forget is Bihar. It's a clear message to Bihar. Bihar is a dream project of BJP to lead a government there. And I think very soon they may put a succession plan in place in Bihar. And Nitish Kumar's health is not good. They may keep him going for a while. And then who takes over? Having the national president of the BJP from Bihar is very important signal. Third is the choice of a caste. Now, caste is a very small community amongst the upper caste, but they are the Pada Likha community, the community to which the bureaucrats belong and run the show. And somewhere there has been a restlessness in a section of the upper caste, despite the support to the BJP. Things of too much of talk of OBC and power moving to OBCs and EBCs and so on. And they've not felt so important. And I think this is also a significant message going to them. You are very important for us.
Well, you're right. Messaging is everything. I'll give the final word to Rohit, my colleague who tracks the BJP. And like I said in the beginning, some of us, know a thing or two more about Bihar, and Rohit is one of them. Rohit, what Neerja was saying, now, in all probability, there is already a succession plan in place in Bihar, keeping in mind Nitish Kumar's health.
Well, absolutely. That is a fact that Nitish Kumar's health has always been a cause of concern for the last year or so. And that is why when this time also Nitish Kumar has become the chief minister, there's already speculations going on that he will be the CM for how long? 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years? Then what happens next? Will Nitish Kumar pass on the baton to the BJP? Will he come out in front of the media and make a public declaration that, okay, now maybe I'm 75, 76, I'm not keeping well, so I will be transferring the power to the BJP. Then who will be the chief minister of Bihar when BJP comes to power, when BJP starts running the show? Samrat Chaudhary could possibly be one of the face, because the manner in which...
Rohit, I'd say you shouldn't say it. It could very well be a parchi, and somebody who sat in the last row, through all the pictures which have been taken of the party's leadership in Bihar, I put my money on that person.
Absolutely. That is a possibility which nobody can think of, that what BJP will do. But as of now, what we are thinking is that Samrat Chaudhary is being elevated and he is being promoted in the government. You see how, for the first time in 20 years, the Home Ministry has gone from Nitish Kumar to Samrat Chaudhary. So Samrat Chaudhary's stature is also being, being elevated. So there is a possible succession plan which is going on as far as the Bihar government is concerned, as far as Bihar is concerned. And youngsters being given a chance. See, Samrat Chaudhary, only 57 years of age at this point of time. And surprises of surprise, Nitin Nabin, 45 years old, young man, I can say.
The youngest BJP party president ever. If he, of course, the youngest working party president of the BJP, in all probability, come January, February, he could very well be the youngest party president. I appreciate you joining us, Rohit. Thank you, Neerja Chaudhary, and all other panelists on this show. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it with the visuals on your television screen. This is how quickly, life changes in a blink. Till about yesterday, Nitin Nabin was somebody who was completely in the background. And today, don't just look at the image of Nitin Nabin being received by the top leadership of the BJP and other big leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The posters there, as big, his picture as that of the Home Minister Amit Shah, JP Nadda, who's still the party president, a new working president in place, a bigger message that the cadre of the BJP is most important. Those who work for the party, most important. Party and position is supreme, not individuals. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you for joining us.